What's up, guys? It's great to talk Cubs baseball. We got a very special guest. The Cubs pitching phenom, Cade Horton, is going to be on with us in a second. But before we talk baseball with the right-hander, do me a favor. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Cubs baseball channel. All right, man. Great to have you on today. Cade Horton, the Cubs' top pitching prospect, and you have a special place in my heart. I mean, I don't wait my whole career to get this. And
I'm glad I could do that.
You did, man. I've seen a lot of guys come and go through the system, and I'm telling you, I'm super impressed with the talent that you bring to the table. I know there's a lot of expectations. I don't want to add to that, but at the same time, you have to feel confident about the way that you're able to go out there for your fastball and work that slider and have success.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, I try to take it one pitch at a time. And that's how baseball is played. You can't get the pitch back, and you can't be in the future. You just got to stay present in that one pitch. And I just focus on executing. I think baseball is a simple game that we try to overcomplicate at times, and so just making it as simple as possible.
Well, that's the fun of it too, right? Going out there and kind of just working with your catcher and trying to get outs. Let me start with your fastball. When I describe you, I talk about a guy that isn't afraid to throw inside. I think that's a lost art in the game. Now you do it. You're a really nice guy, but you don't pitch like a nice guy. You pitch kind of like a guy that's hey, this is my mound and that's my home plate. And if you get too comfortable, watch out, because I'm going to work the inside of the plate and I'm going to back you up a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like, in this game, you can't take stuff home. So who I am on the field is, kind of different than who I am off the field. I feel like at times, I feel like, I try to go out there and be Cade Horton, where off the field, I'm just Cade. I'm, the nice guy from Oklahoma. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid to throw it over the plate. I know how hard hitting is. And so just using those averages to my advantage is what I try to do.
So when you work on things here, right, in the minor leagues, you're basically working on what the craft has to be to have success in the big leagues, right? And for someone like you, who I'm thinking is obviously on the fast pass to get there because the Cubs need you, what are the things that you try to concentrate on every day to become better and to prepare for that opportunity?
Yeah, I try to focus on the small things. I think, I'm not a big goal setter. I try to focus my time and my energy on how can I get better today. And that's in my routine, just mastering my routine and finding a way to get better, whether that's, working on a changeup that day or working on something delivery wise, just finding a way and staying in the process of things and not, trying to look too far big picture and just taking one step at a time.
The pitch to me that kind of separates you from a lot of guys too is the slider. And it's something that you really didn't even throw your whole career, which really is crazy to me, because it's such a great pitch for you. And it's great because it's deceiving to the hitter, but you also have the ability to basically work the shape of the pitch how you want to, right? You want it to be look like a strike and be a ball. It can be that. You look like it's going to hit you and then it comes into the plate. It almost reminds me of watching those guys in Australia with boomerangs. How did you do that?
So I coming back from Tommy John, I was struggling a little bit. I was fastball, curveball guy. Didn't really have much, and so I was a 2-pitch mix really, and so guys were just sitting on one pitch and hammering it. And so I felt like I needed something to get the guys off that, and so I wanted to learn a cutter, and then it kind of turned into a slider. And I feel like that's a pitch I can have, in my back pocket whenever I need it. If I need it for a strike, I can throw it for a strike. If I need a chase pitch, that's my go-to. And so it's kind of evolved over the course of these last 2 years, and it's really been my bread and butter.
It's pretty good bread and butter right there, to be able to throw that. So the secondary stuff you're working on, maybe change up. So what are you throwing right now? Fastball, slider, and change up?
Fastball, slider, change up, and curveball. My curveball is more depthy. It's still hard, but it doesn't have the sweep like the slider does. But my change up, it's really came a long way over the past year and a half. It's something I'm continuing to build upon, and it's going to be a really good weapon for me moving forward.
What was spring training like for you, getting to be around the big league club?
Yeah, it was really good. I felt like I learned a lot just about being in a big league clubhouse and how things run up there. It was good, meeting those guys, and that way I can, become familiar with them. And so it was really cool just being them accepting me in and just kind of showing me the ropes.
You grew up in Oklahoma, obviously not a Major League Baseball market, right? Who was your favorite team growing up, and who were the players that got you interested in baseball? And I'm sure it could be college guys, right? Sooners.
Yeah, no, I feel like growing up, being from Oklahoma, I really didn't have a team. I would say probably like the guy I really loved watching play was Derek Jeter. I loved the way he led, the way he played the game hard. And that's kind of who I inspired to be, as kind of like a leader, and just seeing what he does for not only himself, but he puts the team before himself.
Yeah, it's not a bad player to try to emulate at all. Jeter is one of the greats of all time, one of the great players. And when you look at the game of baseball right now, I feel like there's a void as far as like that Derek Jeter type presence that we had. Ken Griffey Jr. fell in there, Cal Ripken before that.
Yep.
And maybe when you get there, that's something that you could do. The other thing too is those guys were always on commercials. You notice that? Like, there's not a lot of Major League Baseball players on commercials anymore.
No, there's not. It's kind of trended into more basketball and football heavy, I feel like. But I could see baseball in the next 10 years coming back and being that top sport, like it is. And I think it's really good for the game.
One game that you played it at a high level was football. You were quarterback, right? And you could have played, and you did play collegiate football. How did you like football? And then how tough was it giving that up to concentrate on baseball?
Yeah. I love football. I love the physicality of football that it brings. And, going to OU, I wanted to play both sports. And so, I got that opportunity early on. I wasn't getting much reps at football. And so, I felt like I had to make a decision, what was I going to be in 5 to 10 years? And, I thought, it's probably going to be a baseball player. And so come September, I decided to just focus on baseball fully. And yeah, now I'm here.
So much different recruiting process, though, when you're going through like football recruiting at the D1 level. How many stars did you have?
I actually didn't really have stars because I didn't get to go to like any of the camps or like the recruiting camps because I was always playing baseball in the summer. And so I just went out there and played football. It was my secondary sport. And, I feel like if I would have focused on it more, I could have been probably recruited more heavy. And so just, going out there and playing, it was really fun.
Yeah, especially in front of those big crowds.
Oh yeah.
Who was the football coach at the time?
Lincoln Riley.
So it was Lincoln, who's at USC now.
Yeah.
When you started to like become an excellent pitcher, who were the influences that you had to teach you how to do it? Because it's a game that really takes craft, right? And instruction and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest influence on my pitching career was Skip Johnson. He's the head coach at head coach and pitching coach at Oklahoma.
Mhm.
And, he works with some of the best pitchers in the game, Kershaw, just a lot of guys. And so being able to get his knowledge and pick his brain every day was what really set, me up for success in the future.
You guys had success. I think I saw you pitch in the World Series, right?
Yep.
How was that experience going to the College World Series?
It was unbelievable. That atmosphere, nothing beats it. Just the pure joy. It made you feel like a kid again. Just being able to go out there and play for something greater than yourself. You're playing for university, state. It really means something to those fans and to us as players. And so just being able to go out there on that stage and perform, that's what we all dream of.
Yeah, it really is great. I wonder why Major League Baseball doesn't feel like it has the same, and maybe I shouldn't say Major League, professional baseball. It doesn't bring the same passion that I see in college baseball. I mean, just covering it myself, it's different.
Absolutely. No, it is. It definitely is. And I think part of the reason is because college, you don't play, 130 games in a season, and so you have to find a way. This game is hard enough, and playing it every day, it can beat you up at times. And so it's like you got to ride the wave. You can't be up and down in this game. And so that's why I think, professional baseball, you play 6 out of 7 days a week for 5 months. It's your passion's still there, but you can't show it as much as you do in college in a 50-game season.
What's the biggest accomplishment so far in your career?
I would probably say being selected in the top 10. I feel like that was a huge accomplishment for me. I also think, pitching in the national championship was a huge accomplishment. Something I dreamed of, just being in that big atmosphere in a big time game and a must win. It was really fun and exciting.
Well, how does the Smokies championship?
The Smokies championship is definitely up there because national championship didn't win. The Southern League, we won, and I got the ring, and so that's definitely up there. Thank you for that.
Yeah. No, thank you, man. I mean, I've got to show everybody this thing. This ring is amazing, by the way.
No, they did a great job on that.
It's
the details on it are awesome.
Yeah, the crazy part about it is all these years of this, the AA franchise coming up short, right? And we were talking about it, the nickname Chokies, right? And all of the championships that came up short, and there were a lot of, times where they got to the finals and couldn't win it. They didn't have the guy like you. You and BJ Murray doing it at the plate.
Yep.
And the entire team contributed, but he had those big hits.
He did. And
you pitched those big games. You pitched game 1. Hey, we're going to establish the fact that we're going to kick your ass. And then that last game where it's like, look, we were in the same spot the year before and lost twice with one game to win it all. And then you came in there. And I mean, from the first inning, it was just like you were so locked in with all of that pressure, and it was impressive to me.
Yep. No, I agree. I think, we were playing our best baseball at the right time. And that's what it comes down to, defense and pitching are what wins championships. And so just being able to have a rotation like we did last year, it was huge. And I think that's what led us to have so much success in the postseason. But I also think our mindset just going in, we knew we were going to win. And we weren't going to let somebody take it away from us. And so we wanted to establish, we wanted to get the momentum early and get going. And I feel like in those pressure situations, that's the name of the game. You got to take the momentum because there's so much things that can happen in this game that you need to have that momentum on your side.
When I think about Cubs prospects, and I've been, covering the team for 20 years and been a Cubs fan for 40. I put you up there where you're at right now, prospect wise, with what it was like when Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor came up. And it's not that I'm discounting a lot of other good pitchers too. Chris Archer being one that I remember coming through. Andrew Kashner, in a different way, Kyle Hendricks. But when you hear that, I mean, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and it's like it makes me feel good. But at the end of the day, I still got to go out there and continue, getting better and finding ways to do that. And so I feel like being a prospect, it is super cool, but also you can't get too wrapped up into it. You can't put that extra pressure on yourself. You still have to go out there and compete and find ways to get outs.
If I was a pitching prospect for the Cubs, like you, like Jordan Wicks, like DJ Hurst before he was traded last year to the Nationals, but the guys that they know, like, hey, we got to be careful with, I'd be a little frustrated on the fact that you're really not allowed to pitch a whole lot. Like, and I get it. I mean, I say, hey, I would put you in bubble wrap, but at the same time, you have to go out there and work and get better. And like you said, develop a more advanced changeup, right? And work on the curveball a little bit more, the fastball and the slider are there. How do you deal with that, knowing that you're not going 5 innings? You're not throwing 70 pitches, 80 pitches, you know?
Yeah, I think, what this has done is really taught me how to be efficient and attack guys. I don't have, time to try to knit and pick around the zone. I got 75 pitches. How many innings can I go with 75 pitches? And so I think that's what's really helped me. But you talk about like building pitches and the repertoire and such limited innings. That's where your bullpens come in. You can get so much better in bullpens and just focusing and taking, game-like intent into your bullpen will help you get those results you're looking for.
All right, a couple more questions. When you were around the big league team, did you get a chance to talk a lot with Tommy Hotovy? What's that experience like? And Craig Counsell, how do you like him?
No, Tommy's an awesome guy. He Wichita State guy.
Do you hold that against him?
No, I think it's awesome. Just having somebody kind of close to home is always nice, and so just being able to connect with him over that
if he was from Texas, it would be
absolutely. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I would talk to him after that, but no, he really knows his stuff, and I mean, as you can see with our rotation, he's done a really good job, and I think Counsell brings just great information about the game. A lot of experience, been in the game for a really long time, and so just bringing that new energy it's going to be really good for the club.
Yeah, very smart baseball guy. And finally, I get on here and I talk about how impressed I am with the Cubs farm system right now. And for people that don't know me, they don't know that if I wasn't impressed, I'd say that too. Right? But I believe in you guys, and it's because you guys are good. It's because this organization right now is built on doing things the right way, hitting the cutoff man, playing the game hard. We got smart players here. Matt Shaw, watching him play, like he plays like a veteran and doesn't make mistakes. Watching Owen Casey last year, Pete Crow Armstrong, I call him Hollywood Pete, for his ability to just spark a rally or make a big play, his desire to win. This farm system is ranked really high. This Smokies team is ranked really high, but it's not the ranking to me that impresses me. It's the talent and what you guys are able to do mentally and understand the game and your passion to win.
No, absolutely. I think that's a common theme in this organization is just, a bunch of guys that want to win. I think the talent is there, but I think also with the talent, you have to have a mindset. And I think, a lot of these guys have the same mindset of, how are we going to win today? And just being able to simplify the game, play it the right way. If you play hard, the game's going to pay you back. And I think a lot of guys take that in to account, and you can see it. It shows when we play.
Very, very much so. Memorabilia. You may be young, but I ask everybody this question. because we all seem to be collectors,
Yep.
right? What is your most prized piece of memorabilia? And I'm just going to hold up one of mine right here. But what for you? What is it?
Yeah, I would say the Smokies ring. I would also say probably my. Let's see.
And you can do.
I
baseball cards.
really liked my College World Series jersey. I think that was a
Really?
really cool touch. But definitely got to go with the rings.
Do you have those hung up, or do you like? What do you do with?
Yeah,
those
no,
stuff?
I have them hung up in my house, and yeah, so
Got some cool
yeah.
stuff. I tell everyone, Ryan Sandberg gave me his fungo bat. Signed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he kept telling me he was going to give it to me. So when he gave it to me, it's like I can still hear him being like, "I'm going to give you this one day," which is pretty cool. I saw a video of you when you got drafted, going to Wrigley Field and meeting one of my good buddies, Billy Williams.
Yep. That was an awesome experience. Just being able to be around him and talk to him and pick his brain. Really awesome. I think it's really cool how the Cubs have, all their older players there, and they still come back. I think it's amazing for the fans and for us as players. We get to hear their stories and see how they did things. And so just bringing that information in, it's priceless.
Final thing I'm going to ask you. In your mind, when are you going to get to Chicago, and when are you ready to be in Chicago?
Yeah, I think, it's a business. And so just having that in the back of my mind, I couldn't tell you when I think it's going to happen. I feel like I'm ready now, but I think that there's still, there's a lot of moving parts in a baseball season. And so just being able, it's out of my control. And so just focusing on what I can do to help myself be in the best position to get there is what I focus on.
A great answer. I would say I'm ready today and hopefully this year.
Absolutely.
This is a fun team.
Yes, no, it is a lot of talent.
The good thing is if it is like next year, by then I'm thinking that you'll have a lot of friends there.
Absolutely.
The guys that you played with here, because they're knocking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are. There's a lot of guys knocking.
Well, Cade, thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That's Cade Horton, obviously one of the great prospects in the Cubs organization. And guys, get in the comments section. Tell me what you thought, and we'll talk to you again soon. Go Cubs.